What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got an injury update to provide for you guys ahead of our next game against Cleveland in a couple of hours time. Again, I think most of the people that you kind of already seen on the injury list remain on the injury list for the Chicago Bulls as our next game against Cleveland approaches. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls' overall chances to win this game against Cleveland, including with some of these guys that could potentially be out for this game. With that being said, though, let's get started on the injury report, starting with Javonte Green, who has been listed as questionable to play against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He has had a flare-up with his right knee, and it seems like, again, it's kind of just gotten worse from the last time out to this time. So I think things like this can happen on occasion. Again, it's just soreness at the end of the day that's began to reoccur. So you might see Javonte Green miss a game here against the Cleveland Cavaliers, which would absolutely suck, because again, in that last game against Cleveland, I thought he was a really big difference maker in that game. So it would be unfortunate to see him miss the next game against Cleveland, knowing what he could bring to the table for this team. Moving into the next one, ladies and gentlemen, we have got Derrick Jones Jr. and Alex Caruso as probable to play against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is going to be a very, very interesting one in terms of Derrick Jones Jr. I think he returned in the last game, but he didn't actually play any minutes. Maybe if Javonte Green is out, this could give Derrick Jones Jr. some of those minutes where he could come back and maybe make a difference for this team. Again, it'd be nice to see Derrick Jones Jr. play. It'd be very nice to see Alex Caruso play as well. Probable is 75% chance they'll play this game. So very, very positive stuff there. And that's really the big injury news for the Chicago Bulls. The only one that has been left remaining on the injury list is, for personal reasons, Tony Bradley will be listed as doubtful. Now, again, Tony Bradley doesn't necessarily play for the Chicago Bulls, but hopefully everything is okay with Tony Bradley. Again, personal reasons. We don't know why Tony Bradley will not be a part of this game. But in terms of whether or not it will affect the Bulls or not, personally, again, no offense to Tony Bradley here, but he has been pretty much the only guy to not play all season. He's only really had sporadic moments here or there. So I can't say this will necessarily hurt the Chicago Bulls a lot. But for Tony Bradley to be going through personal stuff is never a nice feeling to see, and I hope he can get that all sorted and come back to the Bulls as soon as possible, and we'll see what happens with his future on this team. That's all the injury list for the Chicago Bulls. If you're looking at the Cleveland side of things, they might have a couple of guys that could potentially return against the Bulls as well. Darius Garland is listed as doubtful, which is again 75% chance he'll miss the game. So you might expect to see a very similar situation where Caris LeVert will be a go-to scorer for that Cleveland side when Darius Garland is out, and Evan Mobley will be questionable to play against the Chicago Bulls as well. So expect Kevin Love to start if Evan Mobley does not return. If Evan Mobley returns, Cleveland becomes a 10 times harder team to beat. They've got a much better defensive big out there that will help them. And also, you got a guy that can shoot from the mid-range and control, I guess, that key area very, very nicely for Cleveland. So a very, very difficult game if Evan Mobley returns. But it's not impossible for the Bulls. Again, I still feel like we should have, I guess, the energy, at least in this type of game, to prove a point and win this game against Cleveland, knowing they beat us last time out. There was a 2-minute report as well that said that Caris LeVert fouled DeMar DeRozan. Normally, I would just let this stuff go because it doesn't mean anything. But realistically, if you think about it, that's happened twice for the Chicago Bulls already this season. And if we beat the Wizards when it happened to us the first time out, which again was a clear foul, I don't know how that wasn't called. And this one against Cleveland, which I personally didn't notice the foul, but the 2-minute report suggests it was a foul. Then if DeMar DeRozan, knowing who he is and how he can make his free throws, that's 2 extra wins on our season that could put us closer to 500. So these, when they pile up, it makes a big difference for this team. And again, if we're missing the playoffs by 2 games, we can look back at these moments and say, if the refs did their job effectively, which they don't do, we might have been in a playoff situation. So it really is fine margins in terms of this NBA season thus far. But again, until, I guess, we know what our future will be for this Bulls team, 2-minute reports mean nothing to me. Yes, it's nice that they admit they got stuff wrong, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change. It doesn't change a single thing on our season. At the end of the day, we're still lost, and we still have to take that loss and move on from it. And I'll be much more furious about it maybe towards the end of the season when we know for sure if we're going to be a playoff team, a play-in team, or we're just out of the playoffs completely. That's when I'll really make, I guess, a huge fuss about it. But for now, we've got a job to do against Cleveland. I'm not going to dwell on the past. It's time to look into the future. Let's see if we can go and get some revenge against Cleveland in the next game. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.